Good morning, sunshine. I'm processing some things lately, and I thought this might help somebody, so I thought I would share. I, as a young child, have always been one to lead with love and light. I have always been sensitive. I have always been vulnerable. I have always worn my heart on my sleeve. You know how I'm going to feel before I even have time to be able to process how I feel myself. And I think as a child, that was a lot for the people around me to handle. And truthfully, it was a lot for myself as well. I wasn't sure quite what to do with that all the time. And regardless of not knowing always how to interact with me or how I should maybe receive myself, I always knew that love needed to be how I approached other people. Martin Luther King's quote, "Hate cannot drive out hate, only love can," has been something that I think I've practiced before I knew. And it's continued to be something that carries me through my life. I just saw a video of this singer, and she gave a beautiful speech before, and she had talked about how you cannot overspend love, you can only underspend. That love is universal, and it becomes the glue that holds us all together. And that brought some of this up for me. And I thought about that when she says love is universal. It makes me think of that movie where they get married. I can't think of it at the moment, but they say the love is a circle, the wedding ring is a circle, because it never ends. And that, I think, is what I know to be true about love, right? That it is universal, that it comes in and out, it has an equal flow. And for it to go somewhere, it also has to come back to you. And that's why it's so important that when we talk about being able to fill up your own cup before filling up someone else's, because eventually it's going to come back to you. And I'm realizing as I'm processing that all my life I have been so good at making sure that other people feel the love and light that I have to offer, and knowing that that's how they should be treated, and that's what I believe is the right thing to do, and so that is what I will do. However, as someone who hasn't always been able to accept myself fully or know exactly how I take up space in a situation and be comfortable with that, sometimes that has lended me to be in a position of when I go through a difficult time, a transitionary time, where something ends, right? That I might have some of those feelings of, well, why did I put so much love and energy into this? Why did I give so much to this if this was going to hurt me so bad? And I start to feel resentment for being that vulnerable, for having and giving so much love to a situation if it was only going to end, or if it was only going to give this much pain or this much hurt in the future. But this is where those two quotes merge again in my mind, because if hate cannot drive out hate, only love can, then that also means I can't resent myself out of a difficult transition. I can't move on and genuinely become at peace with whatever is happening in my life until I'm also at peace and content with the actions that I chose, with the forgiveness that I gave, with the love that I spent. Because at the end of the day, there's nothing bad about that. It just didn't work the way that I wanted it to work. And even if I gave love and gave love and gave love, it wasn't wasted. It wasn't overspent. It wasn't something that I should have never done. It was just something that happened. And in order for that love to truly be universal, it has to be able to come and wash over me so that I can give it to someone else again, truly, genuinely, wholly, purely. Because if I don't, if I never receive that love for myself, instead what I do is this wicked cycle of I won't accept that love, but I will give it to someone else. And if they don't receive it the way that they need to receive it, I become angry or reactive or resentful again. And then the love that I am giving is not pure. Instead, it's a version of expectation. It's a version of control. It's a version of manipulation, truthfully. It's a tool. It's a coping skill. It's something that we're using in order to achieve something. But love is not any of those things. Love is unconditional. Love is gracious. Love is kind. Love is patient. And love gives without receiving anything in return, without expecting anything in return. And I know this to be true because every time we move out of a transition, in order to forgive ourselves, in order to move on, we always come to terms with how things ended. We always find a way to make peace with something. And if we don't, then we've never truly moved on. And we hold it within ourselves and repeat the cycle.